Yes, students, welcome again to the economics class. Yesterday we studied conversion of the aggregates into other aggregates. We converted GDP MP here, and I gave you homework to convert GDP FC. Hope you have done, and you can send me the formulas on my number. I will check and make you known. Today we will continue the same topic. Now we are going to convert NDP MP. If we have to convert NDP MP into GDP MP, you have to memorize the formulas. Without looking at the formulas, you should do it. You should practice to do it without looking into the formulas. You should memorize first. That's 6 formulas: gross, net, domestic, national, and market price and factor cost. So let us start. We have to convert NDP MP into GDP MP. So in both of these, only net and gross are different. Net and gross are different. So solution will be NDP MP plus depreciation is equal to GDP MP. So simple. Another one we can do NDP MP into GDP FC. How can we do it? NDP MP plus depreciation, net plus depreciation is equal to gross, and market price minus NIT is equal to factor cost. Clear? Now rest you have to do. You have to convert NDP MP into the remaining aggregates like NDP FC and NNP FC, GNP FC, NNP MP, and GNP MP. These you have to do. You may note it down. After this we will continue our previous topic. We studied double counting, problem of double counting yesterday, and how to solve the problem of double counting also. Today we will study private income. Definition only. Private income is estimated income of factor and transfer incomes from all sources to private sector within and outside the country. Private income, as its name suggests, private income is the income of private people. Private people except government, everyone is private. So whatever income private people are earning is known as private income. Private people earns factor income and they also earn transfer income. So both of the factor income and transfer income are included in private income of private people. So what we have to leave is only government income. So if we subtract government income from the total income, then we will get the private income. Second is personal income. Personal income means what income is going to persons. Persons here we mean human being. So the artificial person's income, if we subtract from private income, then it will become personal income. What are artificial persons? Artificial person is the corporate, means company. Company's income is subtracted from total income, then it will become personal income. It refers to income received by household from all sources. All sources here means factor income and transfer income. Factor income means which we earn by sacrificing something, by doing some labor, and transfer income means which we receive free of cost, like scholarship, pension, subsidy, etc. It includes factor income and transfer income. Next is personal disposable income. It is that part of personal income which is available to the households for disposal as they like. Personal disposable income means out of the personal income, whatever income is remaining with us for spending for our personal uses, that is known as personal disposable income. So what is the difference between personal income and personal disposable income? Is that difference is that personal income involves whole of income, but while calculating personal disposable income, we subtract income tax, wealth tax, fees, fines and penalty collected by the government, because taxes are compulsory payment to government. If we are earning money, whatever money we earn will come into personal income, and after deducting tax and fees, fine, penalty payment to government, the remaining income will be known as personal disposable income, because we can spend it on our own after making compulsory payments to government. Understand? Now next topic is GDP and welfare. GDP and welfare here comes in the sense that all governments, and general assumption is also that if GDP is increasing, then welfare will also increase, because GDP means gross domestic product, goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country, and the whole world assumes that if GDP rises, then welfare also rises. But it is not true up to 100%, because if GDP rises, then welfare will be equal to all. It can't be said, because GDP will rise if Tata, Birla and Ambani are earning, then GDP will rise. But its effect will not go to the poor people or BPL. That's why we can say that if GDP is rising, overall welfare will not be rising. And in GDP calculation also there are many drawbacks, or there are many exceptions. So we cannot always say that GDP is showing welfare, but instead GDP is a better indicator, is a good indicator of welfare, because there is no other indicator which can be used to denote the welfare. So we are reading in the notes, page number 6, GDP and welfare. In general, GDP and welfare are directly related with each other. A higher GDP implies that more production of goods and services. Higher GDP means more goods and services are produced. It means more availability of goods and services. More goods and services will be available, but more goods and services may not necessarily indicate that the people were better off during the year. मगर ज़्यादा गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज होने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि लोग खुशहाल हैं. उसका मतलब ये भी हो सकता है कि ज़्यादा अर्निंग, क्या पता, अल्कोहल बनाने से आ रही हो, या ड्रग्स एंड मेडिसिन बनाने से आ रही हो, या फिर ज़्यादा गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज डिफेंस गुड्स भी हो सकते हैं, एटॉमिक एनर्जी भी हो सकती है. तो उनसे पुअर पीपल को खाने को थोड़ी मिलेगा. पुअर पीपल उससे अमीर थोड़ी होगा. दैट्स वाई GDP इज ए गुड इंडिकेटर ऑफ वेलफेयर, बट नॉट overall indicator of welfare. In other words, a higher GDP may not necessarily mean higher welfare of the people. So always we cannot say that GDP means welfare. Yes, up to some point GDP indicates welfare of the country, and that's why all the governments and all the people run towards GDP. Our GDP should rise, and the growth rate and all, because it is a indicator. Now in GDP also, there are two types of GDP, just like we studied yesterday, real national income and nominal national income. Similar to it, real GDP and nominal GDP is also there. when the goods and services are produced by all producing units in the domestic territory of a country during accounting year and valued these at base year's price or constant price, it is called real GDP or GDP at constant prices. Same definition is there. When goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country are calculated at base year price, it is called real GDP. It changes only by change in physical output. As I told you yesterday, I gave you example also that real GDP will rise only if the quantity of production rise, because we take price of base year and it is a real indicator of growth, that I also told you. So it changes only by change in physical output, not by change in price level. It is called a true indicator of economic development. Remember this line. Which GDP is the true indicator of economic development? So answer is real GDP is the true indicator of economic development. Next is nominal GDP, same as before. Nominal GDP when goods and services are produced by all producing units in the domestic territory of a country during an accounting year and valued these at current year's prices or current prices, it is called nominal GDP or GDP at current prices. So same definition, when goods and services produced during current year are valued at current year's price, then it becomes nominal GDP. And what is the difference between nominal and real? Nominal GDP may rise even if there is rise in prices, but real GDP will rise only if there is rise in quantity. That is the difference I told you before. It is influenced by change in price, change in both physical output and price level. Nominal GDP can rise both by output and price level. It does not consider a true indicator of economic development. We cannot say that nominal GDP is a true indicator of economic development, because it also rises with inflation, and because of inflation, if GDP is rising, as we saw yesterday in example, if because of inflation GDP is rising, it will show only an illusion. वो एक सिर्फ हमको ऐसा लगेगा कि बढ़ गई GDP, बट एक्चुअली वो बढ़ी नहीं है, वो महंगाई के कारण बढ़ी है. Now comes a formula. How can we convert nominal GDP into real GDP? We can convert nominal GDP into real GDP with the help of price index. Price index is the index number of inflation. Index number which shows the actual growth in prices. So price index are calculated every year. It is of two types, wholesale price index and retail price index. So if we know the price index of current year, we can calculate the real GDP. And you must also know that the index of base year is always equal to 100. So formula is real GDP is equal to nominal GDP upon price index into 100. It is very easy to understand, because nominal GDP is calculated at current year prices, you all know. And what is price index? Price index is the index of current year. We studied formula in 11th, P1 upon P0 into 100, current year price upon base year price into 100. So it is the ratio of current year price with base year price multiplied by 100. So if we divide the nominal GDP by price index and multiply it by 100, then it will convert into real GDP, because when current year nominal GDP is divided by current year price index, then it will be converted into base year price, because its formula is P1 upon P0 into 100. So P1 से P1 कैंसिल हो जाएगा और ये इसमें कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा, बेस ईयर प्राइस में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा. So it is the formula. This price index is also known as GDP deflator. What? GDP deflator. GDP deflator is the ratio between nominal GDP and real GDP, or we can say that it is the ratio between the current year prices and base year prices. Now comes another formula which is made from it. What is the value of, how can we calculate the value of GDP deflator or price index? So mathematically it is very easy to remember. From this formula, if we cross multiply it and transfer GDP deflator here and real GDP here, then it will become the formula of GDP deflator. Nominal GDP upon real GDP into 100. As simple as that. So this is known as the GDP deflator. Here it is also written, price index plays the role of deflator, deflating current price estimates into constant price estimates. In this way, it may be called GDP deflator. Okay. Welfare means material well-being of the people. It depends on many economic factors like national income, consumption level, quality of goods, and non-economic factors like environmental pollution, law and order, etc. The welfare which depends on economic factors is called economic welfare, and the welfare which depends on non-economic factor is called non-economic welfare. So what is welfare? Welfare is material well-being of the people. How much wealth people is having, and by the wealth people becomes happy also. So wealth and happiness can be called as welfare. Khushhali in Hindi we can say. So if everybody is happy, everybody have all the puzzles, all the things they require, their basic necessities are fulfilled, then it means their welfare is going on. So it is known as material well-being, and material well-being is depends on economic factors like national income, consumption level, quality of goods, how much quality goods you are consuming, and also non-economic factors are affecting the welfare of people. Non-economic factors are environmental pollution, law and order, etc. The welfare which depends on economic factors is called economic welfare, and जो और जो नॉन इकोनॉमिक फैक्टर पे डिपेंड करेंगे वो कहलाएगा नॉन इकोनॉमिक वेलफेयर. द सम टोटल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक एंड नॉन इकोनॉमिक वेलफेयर इज कॉल्ड सोशल वेलफेयर, और हम इन दोनों को कंबाइन कर दें देन इट बिकम्स सोशल वेलफेयर. कंक्लूजन इज दैट GDP and welfare is directly related with each other, but this relation is complete because of the following reasons. Now we are going towards the limitation of GDP as an indicator of economic welfare, which I was telling you in short before. Or another way we can say that why GDP cannot be a better indicator of welfare. Now we are going to discuss these points. Number one is non-monetary exchange. Even today, in some places, in some villages, non-monetary exchange is going on, which is known as barter system. And in this system, goods are exchanged for goods, and that's why it cannot be counted, or it's not possible to count it in the national income. Try to understand how government calculates national income by the data collected from the tax authorities or data collected from the mandis. So the goods which are coming to market for selling, government can only count that if people are exchanging goods between them. If some labor is, for example, is paid its wages in forms of wheat or in form of bajra, government cannot consider it. Government cannot calculate it because its data is not available how much barter exchange is done. So barter exchange is a limitation of per capita real GDP because barter exchange cannot be counted under national income because its counting is impossible. Next limitation is externalities not taken into GDP but it affects welfare. Externalities is another point. Externalities means which we cannot include in GDP. Externalities, as its name suggests, external. It is out of the range of GDP. We cannot count externalities into GDP. For example, externalities are of two types. Two types of externalities are there: positive externality and negative externality. Now, what is positive externality? Positive externality means, for example, Mr. A is maintaining a beautiful garden and whole society is taking benefit out of that garden free of cost. So everybody is taking welfare from the garden, but the cost of that garden cannot be included in national income because Mr. A is not earning any money from this work. So it will be out of the concept of GDP, but it is doing welfare of the people, so it cannot be included in national income. So we can say that GDP is not a comprehensive indicator of national income. Another is negative externalities. Negative externalities are those things which are hampering the life of people to increase the GDP. GDP जितना बढ़ेगा उतना ही पॉल्यूशन भी बढ़ेगा, उतना एनवायरमेंटल डिग्रेडेशन भी होगा और उतना ही हमारे हेल्थ भी खराब होगी, मगर हम इन सब चीज़ों को जीडीपी कैलकुलेट करते वक्त ध्यान में नहीं रखते. तो हम कह सकते हैं कि these negative externalities cannot be separated from GDP. So externalities not taken into GDP, but it affects welfare. So we can say that these are the limitations. So next 4 limitations are remaining that we will cover in our next class. Okay, have a good day. Thank you. Prepare notes and study well.